Wait, what? Oh, you read the full-size mum for Cuba.
Mawera and Ian up here to talk to you about their planning for the district health.
Just like to acknowledge something that was said before about how all the people that we've been on this journey with over the last 4 or 5 weeks, all these people have got really big hearts and they really want to work for our community. You may disagree with certain ways in which they want to do that, but I promise you they're all there. One of the things I've seen is a lot of collaboration around this, about people supporting each other. And an interesting thing came up for me yesterday, because I know that where's Mawera? Oh, you're there, yeah. You're very involved in the Ahurei for next year. I was talking to another lady who's very involved in that as well, and I said, have you thought about talking to the Arts Council and getting that put on the end of the Arts Council, because it's about April next year, isn't it? Easter time next year. And I then saw David Poole only a couple of patients later, and I mentioned it to David, so those two are going to come together, and maybe the Ahurei will be added on, so you go through all that publication as well, and you get all that advertising for Tuhoi. So that's how all these things work. That's how Whakatane works.
And don't forget about Bay Trust.
And Bay Trust. Yeah, of course.
And creative communities.
That's right. I need to acknowledge that Barry's here today. Everyone knows Barry. Where does Barry go on a Saturday afternoon?
To his other wife.
To his other wife, which is soccer. So I know that for him to turn up here is really good, so I'd like to acknowledge Barry for that. Okay, now, Mawera and I are both standing for the District Health Board. And why are we standing for the District Health Board? We're both standing for the District Health Board because our feet are very strongly in the fenner with this land. We believe in this area and we've got hearts that are wanting to get a better health service for you guys. I can give you all the policies, but I think you really need to know about what is happening in the Health Board. The Health Board goes from Waihi Beach to Murupara and out as far as the Cape. At the moment we have 3 people on that board. There's a board of 11. We've got 1 nominated person who just happens to be from this area and 2 people who have been elected from this area. But they're all retiring. So at this present moment we could have no people from Aotearoa, from the Eastern Bay of Plenty, we could have no people on that board, no one representing you people. Who believes that Tauranga Moana has the same sort of people that we have here in Whakatane with the same health needs? Don't think anyone would ever stay there. We have a community here which has a different demographic, has a different type of health need, and in order if you get that to be looked after, you need Eastern Bay of Plenty people to do that. We need to get Tauranga to be similar to Whakatane, not Whakatane to be similar to Tauranga. And that's one of our big premises. One of the things that Mawera and I did when we first came together was we came together and said, you know, what do you believe in, what do I believe in? We put that together and we came up with a set of ideas as to what we wanted to see. We then were directed towards this report, which is a 24-page report from the ministry. That's the executive summary. That's not the report. The report's like 200 pages. I always thought executive summaries were a page or a page and a half. But when you look through this, you find that the policies that we've come together on are actually the ones that are suggested for the future. So we'll be able to enact those policies. That's talking about prevention rather than just cure. It's talking about improved mental health services. It's talking about improved drugs and alcohol services. All of those services are really, really necessary for our area here. It talks about the culture that you need within a hospital to drive the service that's required for your community. The service we require for our community is quite different from the one that we have in Tauranga, and you need people in the Eastern Bay of Plenty to be able to do that. So yesterday I was at another meeting. It seems to be meetings all the time at the moment. When Sally Webb was there. Now Sally Webb has been the chair of the DHB for the last 9 years. And she came up with, she said, look, you know, this is all about governance. If you're judging people, you want to take people onto that board, you need to figure out what those people deliver. She said they need to be committed, they need to be curious, they need to challenge things, and they need to be courageous when they challenge things. Mawera and I have a big, strong history in governance. We have a big history in this community, and we have a big history healthcare. We are committed, we are challenging, and I believe it would be great to support that. So, look, if you want Easter Bay Plenty on this board, you need to vote for Easter Bay Plenty people. And it's really important that you understand how this voting works, because if you get the voting wrong, your piece of paper will be screwed up and thrown in the bin. So just listen carefully to this.
So that's my job. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the whole committee. Thank you very much for organising this. This was an amazing thing that you did. Good work. Just to engage with the community. Also, I'd like to acknowledge from a personal perspective, my partner Dave and I have got a business called Feathergill. We're the largest supplier of peacock and turkey feathers from pest species birds in Australasia, and we got that business started because of people who farm on the hay and the hill, who gave us a start, who agreed to not poison their birds anymore so that we could come in and hunt them. And because of that, we've got this thriving business. We feed a ton of meat out into the community every year, and that's because of you guys, and I thank you for that, for having that vision and for coming along on that journey with us. Thank you. Voting in the next TV election, is there anyone who hasn't voted yet? Okay, so this is a funny story. I have now said this spiel that I'm about to say at so many things over the last few weeks. I'm going to tell you on the first 3 pages of your voting papers, you're going to tick 1 for the mayor, 3 for Rangataiki, then your community board ticks, then you're going to come to the last page and it's your DHB. Don't tick your DHB candidates. Your job is to number them in order of preference, from 1 to 21 if you're mad enough to want to do that, from 1 to 6 if you just want to support your local candidates, 1 and 2 if you just want to support Ian and I, but we also encourage you to...
we just encourage you to vote the 1 and 2 for Ian and I. Don't think that we're preferential to anything.
But we would really like the opportunity. So, I went did all my ticking. I got to tick an extra one because I'm on the Mayoral, so I got to tick for my preference for regional council as well. Then I got to the last page and I ticked the names, and then I went, what did I just do? I did exactly what I have told literally thousands of people by way of these meetings and the live feeds to not do, and I ticked. I do not know what I was thinking. Please don't do what I did. Please number your candidates in order of preference, because if you tick them, they will throw it in the rubbish bin and your vote will not be counted for anything. It's really, really important that we get that right. We stand to lose all of our representation. And can you imagine what health looks like in Eastern Bay of Plenty if decisions for people who live in Minganui are made from someone who lives in the centre of Tauranga? They have no concept of what the barriers of health to health are. No concept of what it is to truly live rural when Omokoroa and Katikati are rural to them. And so we have a responsibility to look after our vulnerable people in our communities. Those of us who were able to get here by way of our cars or support people today have a responsibility to look after those who have got zero ability to get to see a doctor. In Opotiki, you can wait 3 weeks to see a GP. 3 weeks, can you imagine that? And the GP practice will say, we can't see you for 3 weeks, you have to go into the ED in Whakatane. They get into the ED and they get abused by the ED staff for bringing non-urgent cases in. That has got to stop. We have got to have a better solution than that. We've got solutions. And one of those solutions is to change the way that we're funding health. It's all wrong. It doesn't work. It is a failed model. We are going to be strong advocates for change. We are both connected. Which was one of the beautiful things about this process and how collegial it's been as we've all travelled around, is we've got these now connections, whoever is going to be in the council, whoever's going to be in the regional council, and our networks have grown stronger and stronger, so we become one voice that gets change to happen for this place, and that matters so much.
One of the other things that we really come across a lot in terms of DHB is talking to staff and to patients is about culture. You know, the culture of the DHB is automatically one of caring for, but that's not always reflected through. And that, we believe, is because a culture is demonstrated from leadership. Leadership comes from the top. If the leadership is not demonstrating the appropriate culture, then people below will not follow that through. And the DHB has put in place a system called CARE or Manakitanga, which I can't believe that you try and teach people in healthcare about Manakitanga, because that's why they're going to healthcare. People are not demonstrating Manakitanga, it's because the system isn't allowing them to do that, or the system is demonstrating something differently. One of the things that we will do from the top is that we will demonstrate the right sort of culture, and we demand that the CEO and the people below us start showing that sort of culture as well, so that people right down at the bottom will see that's the only way to work, and it's a far better place where people work for each other and work in a positive way. And we've seen all that through this process. Yeah. We'll demonstrate that through the board and we'll demand it from the next CEO.
And there is a new CEO and a new chair at the selection, both of them go. So this is absolutely time to change. We've got to have change makers at the table, and we believe that we represent can. And I'm aware that we are standing between a 9-year-old and food. So thank you. We're happy to answer any questions afterwards.
Yeah, I've got one now. Echocardiography. Doppler,
yeah.
It's, as far as I'm concerned, a really important diagnostic technique. It's also non-invasive and relatively straightforward.
Yeah.
You talked about prevention.
Yes.
It's part of the armoury for that.
Yes.
I recommended someone get one done.
Yeah.
You have to go to Tauranga,
yeah.
and there's a 1-year waiting list.
It's unbelievable.
I come from the third world, and I had one done the next day.
Yeah.
What, how are you going to...
How are we going to change that?
No, you can answer me later.
To be honest, I don't know how we're going to change it. It's about funding. It's about reapportioning funding and making sure the funding moves away from pure administration and layers and layers and layers of administration down to that money being put down at the bottom so you can buy some bloody dollars.
Maybe you can answer.
Which is not that expensive.
Maybe you can tell me how many administrators there are and how many working.
I zoomed out on it a bit so it looked a bit weird. Okay.
And the karakia for the food.
You need to zoom in and out.
Okay, thank you, Jackie.
Tuatahi te tūri atu kia koe Mawera. Ana mai tūwai, ana mai ki roto i a tāu i a mātau tūwaka. Nei rā te hāpuri e noho ake nei. Mahi tahi tātau, te wahanga kia tāne atu rua toki me waima. Mātau o konei, ara te rangi tai. Ka pai, tai mai koe ko mō koe, ngā whakaaro. Nō tōku iwi e tau nei. Ngā ti rangi tihi, ngā ti awa, tūpare tōki ka wera. Me ngā hoa Pākehā rangatira i noho ake nei. Mō tēnā koe. Just to acknowledge Mawera, your candidacy, but to wish you all the best also in terms of the Tāne Atua Waimana Ruatoki area. It's good to see others coming across. I think there's a trend starting, in terms of the mayoral candidates, how we've been working together more as a whānau. I think that there's been always respect and integrity in terms of how we've engaged with each other. Also, our Awakaponga Community candidates also, there's been respect, integrity and care for one another. Yeah, we agree to disagree when we do, but we've done that with always with mana towards one another. So I'd like to really acknowledge everyone. There's Patsy, there's only one more presentations we have, and that's in the Ohobe Chau. God, that's when we've got to ask these questions. Come along with us.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be these questions posed, no doubt, in terms of what their aspirations and what they think. And I think in time, this is what needs to happen, bringing our communities a lot closer together. I'd like to thank Patsy and our committee here, on behalf of, because our Mawera is the mana whenua of this area, on behalf of our people of Ngāti Tāwera and Mātātua and Te Arawa. And just really wish everyone the best. It's been an exciting opportunity. I'm like everyone else, we're sort of sitting back and thinking really hard, being informed and empowered, and everyone has presented really well from the time we started at Whakatane High School. the different forums that we had with the great power. Recently at our local farmers and their views and their thoughts, what they think of us. It's actually been quite a fast sort of time travelling journey for us. We've actually, a lot of us have really had to work hard to prepare to present to you, to think about what would be the best leaders or people that you would trust. Because it comes down to that trust, I think, in terms of moving forward. About real change. I mean, really, I think all of us are saying we want change. Some of us are saying we need stability from what happened in the past in terms of who's been there before. We need to acknowledge the things that have worked well. And we need to also have the courage to say these are some of the things that did not work well. And these are the things that can improve. And I'd like to pick up on Ian, as Tipene and Toi. Their position is also key in terms of our waterways. In terms of the Beneficial Health Board, which in reality, from my point of view, the healthy, thriving communities, which is the vision, sort of encapsulates really the vision of what all of us are trying to achieve. Healthy, thriving communities, healthy, thriving land, healthy, thriving environment. Everyone being happy and reaching the potential in terms of why we're here. So, thank you for empowering us. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming today. It's not always about how many are here, but actually it's who's here, what's here, what's shared. And to our Awakaponga committee, we're very pleased. Our community that's here, supporting our committee, we feel really humbled that you've come. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou.
Kia ora.
Kia ora,
Te
pai roto.
atua nei mātou, te tātou nei tēnā karakia te community whakatau te apatanga o tēnei hui. Heavenly Father, we give thanks and praise to you today for the wonderful presentations, the different topics and issues that have been put forward by each of these fine candidates. Ngā tira katoa ngā kōrero, ko kōrero tia. E whakaaro ake, mō tēnā, mō tēnā, mō tēnā. Lord, we give thanks for the honesty and the way in which each have presented their views, their thoughts, for us to think about as we decide in the next few days the direction that our community will take. Kia hoi tahi ai ngā whakaaro, let there be hopefully unison as we paddle together in the next few years, ai painga mo te iwi katoa, so that we can benefit for all of us right across the whakatau industry. Kia tātou katoa, te ata whai ato tātou ariki e heu Karetai, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinata hitanga ki te wairua tapu, ake. Tātou i mene? Apera? this food which you're about to receive, that we can mix and mingle together as a family. And we ask these things for your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Time for